And once again joining us via video call is Ms. Pasmila Raviraj, a senior lecturer at the Michigan University of the United States of America. She is also the translator and editor of this book. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention towards the screen.
Hi everyone, good evening all of you. My name is Pasmila Raviraj. At present, I am working at the University of Michigan, United States as a Tamil professor. It is a great pleasure to honor to join you today as a translator and editor of the Meccan Shawl, the short story collection by SLM.Hanifa. The Tamil short story collection Meccan Shawl comprises 15 stories, all of which have now been translated into English. Among them, the short story Marumakkal Time was translated many years ago by Professor Sivasekaram. In this collection, 8 stories were translated by Professor N. Asokan, while the remaining 6 stories were translated collaboratively by Professor N. Asokan and myself. At this moment, I would also like to gratitude to Ms. Sumandara Chalasapati for connecting me with Professor Asokan and for making it possible for me to be part of this meaningful project. I am deeply honored and grateful for the opportunity to contribute this translation work. So the translation is not a simply linguistic work. It is an act of cultural preservation and sharing. Through translation, local voices travel beyond geographical and linguistic borders. This translation project was not only about changing Tamil words into English, it was about carrying a word from one language to another. This short story vividly reflects many aspects of the eastern province of Sri Lanka, especially Muslim peoples. They portray the cultural traditions, social values, beliefs, and everyday experiences of the people of the region with remarkable depth and authenticity. Themes such as family bonds, poverty and dignity, village tradition, farming life, community relationship, coexistence among the communities, and the joys and sorrows of ordinary life are powerfully represented throughout the collection. In this sense, the stories functions not only as literary works, but also valuable cultural and social documents. I believe this collection would be highly valuable for the researchers and scholars interested in the eastern province of Sri Lanka, particularly in the field of anthropology, linguistics, sociology, cultural studies, and literary studies. Anyone seeking to understand the social life, language, cultural practices, and the lived experience of the people of the region would find Meccan Shawl or the Meccan Shawl to be an important and insightful resource. While translating these short stories, we encountered many challenges, particularly conveying the emotions, cultural expressions, idiomatic phrases, and the unique dialect of the Eastern Province. One of our primary responsibilities as translators was to preserve the original tone, cultural depth, and literary beauty of the stories, while also ensuring readability and accessibility for English readers. Balancing faithfulness to the source text with clarity in translation was not always easy. In many instances, we reached out to several individuals and scholars. Their guidance and insights greatly enriched the quality and authenticity of the translation. One of the greatest success of the literary translation is when readers do not feel that they are reading a translated work. but rather experience it as an original creative text. I believe this is one of the most important achievements and challenges of translators. As translators, we aim to preserve the natural flow, emotional depth, and literary beauty of the original Tamil stories so that English readers could engage with them authentically and meaningfully. Although this translated collection was published only a month ago, we have already begun receiving encouraging reviews and responses from the readers across different parts of the world. Their feedback has been deeply valuable and motivating for us. We warmly welcome and encourage more readers, scholars, and literary enthusiasts to share their thoughts, reviews, and reflections on this collection. Your insight and responses will greatly help us our future translation and literary project. Today, we are deeply happy to have this translated collection in your hands. Through these works, local voices, memories, and lived experience represented in these stories now have the opportunity to reach readers across the world. We believe this collection will stand an important contribution not only to Tamil literary translation, but also the broader field of translation studies. At this moment, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who contributed to this project and supported us throughout this journey. My special thanks to author SLM.Hanifa and the translators Professor N. Asokan and Professor S. Sivasekaram, the publishers Jaffna Monitor, Mr. Arminian and his team, and Ghazal Publications, Mr. Sabri and his team. Then special thanks to Professor M.A. Human, who contributed by giving a brief introduction on short notice about this short story collection and translation work. Finally, I would like to thank everyone again for the encouragement, contributions, and continuous support. Thank you so much for the opportunity.